All right, starting up a new chess game. This will be fun to start out starting the day off. I was looking at some Magnus Carlsen games today. That was pretty fun. For those of you who don't know, Magnus Carlsen is like one of I think the highest rated player at the moment. I don't know if he holds the world championship title at the moment. I feel like he might. Just a couple little mic adjustments for the moment. Yeah, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. We'll lower this mic input just a little bit. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Oh my gosh. Love it. Testing, 1, 2, 3. 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 Yeah, I think so. Let's get this mic angle just a little bit more. Yeah, I believe so. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's one of the ideas here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3. Test. Yeah, I think this is one of the ideas going on here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Check. Okay. OBS Streamlabs. Here we go. Let's do some 5-minute games. It should be fast. We've got E4 coming up. We passed the 1400 rating yesterday, which was pretty exciting. Let's see what we can do tonight. 2 knights defense with G5 coming up here. Captures. Check. Captures, and I believe it's the next move I play here is pretty essential. I believe it's bishop d3. I believe it is. Because if bishop e2, knight d5, knight here, if the knight is moved, I need to be able to just play here. Is bishop d3 really the move? It can't be, right? Bishop a4? Maybe? I can't believe I'm stuck on this last move. I'm up a pawn and I can't figure out where to put this piece. Testing. 1, 2, 3. It's tough, man. Okay. We've got knight f3 coming up. Bishop g4, I think would have just won a piece. If queen e2, threatening the pin on the pawn, then this bishop move, and then I don't know. What could black do if queen e2, then maybe queen e7? If bishop g4, then I have d3 with takes very available. Takes, queen takes. I'm okay with this. Queen e2. It sucks I've used 2.5 minutes on these first few moves. These are standard opening moves for black. Some of these first moves in this opening are the most essential. I've played this so many times where at some point I end up hanging a piece or something, or getting a serious disadvantage with the king getting blocked up. And in this opening. We're looking at bishop g4 and queen e7 right now. Maybe bishop e7? Well, then I just move the knight. Not to d4 though. What would I do? If bishop e7, where does the knight want to go? It almost has to go back to g1, if I'm being honest. Schlanto is disconnected in the game, will auto-resign in 40 seconds. I don't think he's gone. Well, it does say he has a... Yeah, he's back online. Bishop f5. Good development move. It just doesn't force anything, though. Moves like d3 aren't... I just feel like bishop g4 was a much more forceful move. I can just castle now. Bishop g4, d3, bishop captures, pawn captures. Yeah, it still has some perks going for it. Let's look at d3 right now. Captures, captures, bishop captures. Well, no, the pawn can't even capture. Yeah, let's just do it. Don't even have to think about it. He's got queen takes, but defended by the pawn. I can take on here on e4, but he can't take on something else. Now black can. So we'll take. Black probably wants to take with the bishop, to which white will respond knight c3. Getting this row cleared out, white is going to catch up on development here. This knight is on the center, way off center. Threatening rook e7. There's actually a piece hanging here. This knight is only this bishop is only defended once. Takes, and that bishop check doesn't work. There's a rook discovery here, but the queen takes on b4. Bishop e3. And that's pretty much game. This is game over. Black has a very losing position here. Black may want to continue. Yeah, just resign. Oh, is that 2 pieces? What happened here? Take. Yeah, after the bishop b4. Yeah. I'm going to use a little bit of time here because I don't know what the bishop does after b captures c6. Bishop a4 is a mistake. Queen f3 is best. Why? Queen f3 is best. Okay. If bishop e7, then bishop d3. Okay. Bishop captures c6 is best. Because then white is up 2 pawns. e7 is best. What about who's like bishop b7? If bishop b7, then bishop a4. Now what about moves like e4? Knight captures e4. Oh, okay. Queen f3. What about bishop d7? Bishop a4 is okay. Queen d. Why? Because it allows for bishop e7. h6 is best. Knight e4 is okay. Now bishop d3, h6. What about c5? Then knight e4. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Threatening some weird stuff. Then maybe something like interesting. Hey man, how's it going? Fazlanala? Good to have you here, man. Just played a game, a 5-minute game a second ago, and encountered the 2 knights defense. Just looking at some variations there. If you want to play a game, you're welcome to send invites to Checkmate 4283. If you're just here for the chess commentary and chilling and having a good time, that's welcome too. Do you play chess, my man? I'll do a short bullet game. My bullet chess rating is not great. The faster games, man, they're tough. They just end up hanging pieces. Yesterday I was playing this and I lost like 4 or 5 games on time that I was winning, where I was up in exchange. Yes, of course. All right, man. I'll if you like, you're welcome to send me an invite after this game. Love to play you. The London system. And I was just, yep, this is on chess.com. I've only recently heard of LI chess or Lichess. Not that familiar with it. I was just watching a video today on the London opening, and I forgot what it was. I'm starting to remember now, but it's too late to execute any of those ideas. Let's just get this pen on the way. I'm not the biggest fan of Queen's Pawn openings because they tend to be a little bit closed games. Nice opening. Yeah, it's a little, I'm playing a little sloppy here. Here's interesting. I have check here. If takes, I take. I can delay capturing that knight. That's a key thing. Otherwise, we would have castled. Now, if queen, I get his rook here. And then after a queen trade, I can castle. I need to castle soon. But after this queen trade, I thought that whole thing brought me up a piece. Oh, up a rook. I thought it was up a piece, and I was like, where's that piece I won? There's the castle. Yep. Needed to happen. We'll just play h6, preventing this coming on. Oh no, I just hung that rook. He's just looking at this attack here, but I had a piece hanging there. Now this rook is defending it. Yeah, I should be able to win easily. The thing is, I've been losing on time a lot. And I'm worried about it happening this game. I come in with these strong advantages and then something happens. Face palm, yeah. Or no, that's not face palm, that's a nothing face. I thought there was a face palm against my inability to play bullet chess. It looks cool, it's flashy. We'll just have the king pick things up. I just can't afford to make mistakes. I suppose I can just go for the checkmate here, huh? Don't really need the queen. Try rapid to train your time. That's a is rapid and rapid is under five minutes, isn't it? Or is rapid within that time limit? I think that's it. All right, my brother. You're welcome to send an invite. I think I put the name up there. All ratings welcome. I had a really nice community, about 3 or 4 people on here yesterday. This is like my 3rd day streaming. It's been a blast and a half so far, and this is on chess.com. Had some great people on, giving tips and trading some videos. Someone was showing me some videos and sending links on videos of so openings about the Vienna. And I used to play a lot of chess in high school, and I'm just now kind of getting back into it. But this is your ID. That's my chess.com ID. Yeah. It's checkmate 4283 if you put that in chess.com. But yeah, just now getting back into the game since high school, and about 12 years ago now, I guess. Jeez. But it's because of the movie The Queen's Gambit came out last year. And I had a friend I went to music school with who's been into chess, and he just got his rating up to 1800 on Blitz, which is something. You know, it's 18. I think a 2000 rating is like you're a chess expert, and 2200 is you're a master. So 1800 is nothing to scoff at. So I was like, okay, this guy's doing pretty well, and I went over and we played a couple games. He won them, but you know, getting to play again. Wait a minute, yeah, no problem. And we're just chatting, and but getting to play with him last month, I mean, just ignited my that flame for desire to play chess. So started the stream 3 days ago, and it's been great getting to meet some new people on here. The idea is I'm a musician, so and I just got my recording software up and running again. So I'll be hopefully by next week I'll have some jams on here to go along with the streaming, some chess music. Be able to rock out a little bit. Not rock out. It'll be a little more chill than that. I feel like if it was too upbeat, it might be distracting. Need to have a little bit of focus going on. I don't know. Maybe like the rock and roll adrenaline would be like suiting, like getting hyper focused on another game. Do I have 2 tabs open here? How long have you been playing, my man? Oh, there it is. Oh. This isn't you. That's aborted. I think I saw that. Wants to be friends. JEO, is that you? GO. You can set whatever time. Hi, I'm here. Hey, Krish. Krish80 was here yesterday. Hello from India. Or hello to India. Finish. Finish. Oh, you are Finnish? Like from Finland? Is that what you meant to? Is that what that meant? Or are you saying finish a game? I add you to my friends list. I accepted the friend request. I accepted it. You can send me whatever. I think it's JEO. No. Is that you? Is that one you? I got the wrong one. Let's see. Where's the that is you. Yeah, okay. Oh, you're not from Finland. The mind does crazy things, man. For a second I was thinking maybe he's from Finland. How does a 5 minute game sound, my man? 5 minutes, 5 seconds? Or do you want to do a little longer? Let's do like a 10-minute game. Why not? I like having the time increments on here. Where you get like 5 or 10 seconds after a move. I think that's pretty cool. I think I sent the invite. Okay, playing white here. Chris, are you going to be wanting to play later tonight? Seeing if Chris is still in the chat. He was here yesterday afternoon and evening. Cool, man. Chris was here hanging out. It's pretty awesome. H6. We had someone here yesterday playing that move. I am preparing opening. What are you preparing, Chris? That one up. I feel like that won a piece for a pawn, but I'm preparing opening for. Are you going to tell me what opening it is, Chris? I'll play the line if you have it, or do you want me to just stumble in blindly to it? So we've got up a piece for a pawn, but this knight is pinned, threatening checkmate, and the knight is hanging. If I move the knight out of the way, oh, this move actually isn't too bad. It's a surprise. Okay. Bishop e3. If I castle, the knight is hanging, so I will play bishop to e3, dealing with. It's a defender and also gets rid of the pin on this square as a checkmate. And it develops a piece. Anything else, if I move the knight, it's a good move, but it moves the knight twice. Or I would have moved it knight here, captures, and back. 3 moves on one piece. It's too much, man. Tempo is almost more important than material in chess. Do I want a queen? If I'm up on material, I actually do want to trade pieces because because it makes the material advantage more notable. There's a guy Josh Waitzkin who is like the U.S. champion. I think it was between 6 and 9 times, 9 years. He was the United States champion, and he compares it to like cookies. Like if you have 5 cookies and your friend has 6, it's not a big deal. But when you get down to like you have 1 and he has 2, you get jealous, man. Where do I want this piece, this rook? Just put them on the open files, maybe? And when you have 0 cookies and your friend has 1, man, that 1 cookie starts to look like something. So if I'm up a piece for a pawn, you can almost just trade off pieces until that advantage is realized. You guys know that, of course. I'm just saying this because of it's a nice anecdote. I like the way he says it. Josh Waitzkin was also like he was the star in the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer that came out in the 90s. His dad was like a journalist and helped get the movie made. I guess I think he had something to do with it. I can't remember what role exactly he played, but it made the Pandolfini chess school pretty famous because Pandolfini was Josh Waitzkin's teacher. Little fun facts. Oh no! How did I not see this? If I tried it, I can't really have any pieces come over, but I'm so... Oh my gosh. I was looking at this move. I'm so lucky this knight is there. Because if this move happened here, I can't really do anything, you know? I just have to sack that rook. But in this position, I have knight here, which forks the queen and bishop and defends that square. But look at this move. I have knight captures with check on the king and queen. Just super lucky that I ever moved that knight. If I hadn't moved that knight, I would have been real troubled because I did not see this threat. If we go back, if I move the knight, captures, bishop captures, and then bishop h3, that would have won that rook easily. It's just about move orders, and it changes the whole game. Here's the 9. It's a good game, man. Excellent playing. If we look back, Chris, you're welcome to send an invite. I want to say a couple things about this game, though. Early in the game, here in development, I was talking to someone about this yesterday. It might have been, I don't think it was Chris, but someone was playing h6 early on. And here you want to play bishop c5 or knight f6, maybe even d6, helping with development. This h6 move people play when they're maybe apprehensive about like knight coming to f6 and a bishop pin. But that pin can be settled with like e7. You don't have to be worried about pins like that. You should be focusing early on with development. Here, white just gets a big center here. Good games, man. I got interested. It's a blunder. Let's see. H6 isn't, well, it definitely puts black way behind, but where's the blunder? It's right around capture, capture. And now notice that white has these 2 big central pawns. Black isn't ready to get the bishop out. After knight and bishop developing, white is fully developed with 2 pawns in the center, ready to move. And I mean, in chess, like, central control is if you control the center, you're controlling the game. But good game, my man. Let's play e5. F3. The blunder is when I not. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. You definitely had that rook. I did not see that bishop line and what your queen was doing. I definitely did not see that. Let's see. There's if knight takes, pawn takes, queen moves to h4 check. Then the king moves. Capture? I know if you're white, if you're the white pieces and you play e4, black plays e5, knight, then black plays f6, and you have knight f3, you can just capture without penalty. I don't know if black can capture this. f3 captures, queen captures. He has to play g3, queen captures, check, wins the rook. So knight captures, f3 captures, queen h4, king e2, queen captures, check, king f2, bishop c4. So this is the big deal. Since he's played c3, this is no longer a mating threat, but is still something to contend here. So then I've got e4 captures, bishop captures, still check here. And then I think he has to play. Yeah, I think that's checkmate. If or I win the rook if there's a capture here. So queen h4 check. If g3, discovered check, winning the rook. f3 is a risky opening move. If you're defending the e4 pawn, moves like d3 are more useful. This f pawn is a tremendous weak spot. Okay, this is what I'm talking about with move orders. For a second, I'm thinking like, do I have to take the rook right now? But he has rook g1 coming up, so. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I haven't played that much in like 12 years. I just got back into it this month, and I've been playing quite a bit. So I have this like, I remember that moves exist, but I don't remember why. So I end up kind of having to like calculate why the move works, and I can kind of stumble through it, but it makes my fast. I can do it with slow games if I have 10, 15 minutes, but if it's a fast game, man, forget it. I'm slow. We're opening up for this light squared bishop to come over. I can pin that bishop, which would be just devastating. I'm threatening mate here. I don't really see any way out of it other than moving this pawn. I must study harder. How long have you been playing, man? Cat sunglasses. I like that. The only way to say getting out of check is playing d3 or d4, because that. Oh, Well, that delays a move, but I think it's still dangerous. Maybe the queen comes up in defense? I think the queen could have come up to defend there. Now what do we do? Oh, this is a skewer for the bishop. Winning the queen. There was a book I read when I was starting out on chess, and there was a book I found called. Do I have a checkmate here? He has to come back. What about pawn check? If I take first, then pawn check. That pawn check is mate. I think I blundered. It's mostly the, yep. This is a pawn check. This is a checkmate with pawn. Those are rare. I think I blundered. So let's take a look at that game. It's the F3 move, man. There are so many other stronger moves. Like C3 or C3 helps attack the center, maybe later with the pawn, and maybe you can get some angles with the queen. I don't recommend developing the queen early on, but F3, it doesn't open up a developing angle for your king. It opens a vulnerability for my queen with some interesting discovered checks on this rank. Fazlinallah, you're welcome to send another game request if you like. Yeah, F3 is dubious. Dubious to say the least. I would recommend moves like D3, but on the second move, like White's ideas are usually bishop F4, knight C3, or knight F3. D3, C3, or D4. Those are really good moves. I would stay away from F3. There is an opening called the King's Gambit that has F4, but that's I actually don't know a lot about the King's Gambit. I think it's similar to the Vienna that we were talking about yesterday. Are you interested in playing another game, Fazlinallah? That I can't say the name very well. I apologize. You can set. I'll let you send the request so you can choose the time, or I can send it to you. That's fine too. Was 10 minutes cool? No worries. I sent you a request. Let's play E5. Let's see how this goes. Where are you from, Fazlinallah? Sorry, I'm very bad at saying that name. Fazlinallah. I stay away from the two knights defense, which is F6. So this is good. Krish, I hope you're watching here, because this is a game. Krish and I were going over this Italian game yesterday. We played it about 3 times, I think. Okay, that was a move that Krish was playing yesterday. And here I just castle. not afraid of the threats on f7 because I am always more than happy to take 2 pieces for a rook and a pawn. Because these rooks are not very useful until the end game, after some minor pieces are traded off. And it's like, you know, half the game you're playing waiting to use your material that you won, and you can end up waiting for a while sometimes. Let's play a little aggressive. Let's play knight d4, defending the queen. He doesn't have any checks. The knight is covering h5 and f4 and g4, and we're threatening c2, which would win this rook for 1 piece. And remember that he traded that. Okay, guarding c2. So now we've got the queen running around. I've got a good outpost here for the knight. Oh, and maybe queen d3 was better. But there is now a fork here, winning the queen and checking the king, uncontested. Okay. Now we just need to develop our pieces. Bishop's coming out. Let's push the bishop. If he comes back with queen off the board, I'm not worried about checks very much. Let's play. Oh, I should have played bishop e6 with the idea of d5. I wonder if it's too late to play something like that. If I play d5, he might not take, waiting for me to take and have that open file. b4. Threatening a5, bishop comes here. And then that bishop is, it can still come over here. Okay. So what if, whoops. What if it comes straight? Whoops. Trying to remove these arrows. What if we come straight here? Then he's got threatening again. It moves a lot of pawns. I don't think I have to move that bishop. Yeah, let's just get this king up out of the way. I'm worried about f4 because it just causes some issues. Now we're looking at moves like knight c4 or rook to d1. And like I said earlier, if I play bishop f4, then I do end up losing that bishop. To b3 in between move, and now I get I can just move my queen actually, or I can do something a little dirty. I just halt. Oh no, oh no, I left it open for pawn f4 captures. That might not have been the worst. Might not have been the worst thing to happen. We want to push this open. Realize a material advantage here. Okay. If I takes. I think this works okay. Oh man, for some reason in my head I thought I still had this pawn in here afterwards. This will be pinned. So he's probably thinking stacking rooks. Takes. I would still be up a rook, but not a queen. Right now I'm up a queen and a piece for a rook. Here we have a tactic, which I'm going to take. You can take the bishop now, but I will take the knight, and I'll be winning a pawn there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take on c2, now threatening a rook and the knight, and checkmate. So to even stay in the game, he has to move rook g1, and now I take the knight. So I actually got 2 pawns there. 2 pawns and a knight for my bishop. I will move rook f8. And if he captures, I have check. Only move there would be to move this rook here, and if that rook is pinned, rook f1 is checkmate. So that bishop, it looks like it's hanging, but it is a trap. Rook moves. Rook f1 is checkmate. Resign. Okay. Good game, my man. Let's take a look at this game. So I think I was talking to it might have been Krish. We were playing some Italian games yesterday, and usually the moves here are castling might have been a little early. You could have developed maybe a knight first, but castling's fine. Here, I wouldn't play knight g4 because in this castle, that exchange is a little bit dubious. Good game, my man. It was a good time. That exchange is a little dubious, though. It's not. This is a very difficult game for white. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Like I said, this is the 3rd day of streaming, so any new followers are very welcome. It really keeps me vibing and going. So please hit the follow button if you're having a good time. It helps me out quite a bit. I have a little business. Oh, excellent, man. Okay, take it easy, man. I really appreciate you playing. Have a good time. Thanks. Bye. Krish, if you'd like, you're welcome to send an invite. If you're still here and you want to play a game. Thanks very much, Fezlinala 12. Fezlinala 12. I will join again when you live. I will probably be on again tomorrow around the same time, and then again the next day. Thanks very much, man. Yeah, I'll see you later. Thanks very much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'll start a new game here. Krish. Okay. Thanks for the invite, Krish. It's good to have you back, man. Appreciate it. You are my my first regular visiting. I think this is 2 or 3 days in a row. You've been here every day I've streamed so far, man. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is some new ideas. G6. I think this is part of a what is it called? The perk defense or something? F5. Okay. That F5 square is so vulnerable. If I take G6 takes queen, that's checkmate. That might just be a hanging pawn. I'm getting some material here. Okay, that takes away the check here. Opens up some. There's a little bit of compensation here. Black isn't weirdly. Black isn't terrible. White has a good center. White has no pieces developed. Black doesn't either. So how are we going to develop? D5 is strong, but I wanted to get pieces out. I need to develop pieces. I don't really count pawn moves as developing. If knight f3, bishop pin right away, I might want knight e2 later instead. But if I'm going to play knight e2, so I can play knight so I can play f3 if the bishop comes in, I want to not have this bishop trapped. So I will move this bishop first. Threatening this weaker king square. I wonder if I almost should have played queen d3, but bishop f5 is really strong, challenging that diagonal. Even queen f3 is not very strong because bishop f5 is so powerful. Knight h6. It's not a great square for the knight, but it does offer f5 for the knight, which would be good. What do I do here? If knight e2, that sets it up for knight g6. Bishop g5, though, pins the e7 pawn, and that makes it hard for black to develop. And if I can develop my pieces and get them into positions that are useful, attacking, and it makes it more difficult for black to develop, all the better. This is attacking here. Let's answer with e2. I can play f3 actually now, with no danger of bishop g4 now. f3 is fine, and it defends this bishop. Attacks e5 if this pawn comes up. White needs to castle or knight c3. I'm just getting pieces out. If we look back a little bit, white moves a piece, black moves a piece, white moves another piece, and then black moves the same piece again. And notice here black and white are the same amount of developed. I don't count pawn moves as development. But then 3 moves later, white has 3 pieces developed and black has 1 piece developed. So spending 2 moves on 1 piece, it slows you down. Now, once again, if I capture that, whatever captures, queen capture maybe, knight c3, rook check here, threatening that check. But it gets the queens off the board. I don't really want the queens off the board. If the c5 move, this king side doesn't really have pawns. The king is not going to be safe there. After that c5 pawn is moved, queenside castling isn't very safe either. The queenside has less pawns in front of it. The king would have to castle and then move again to really be behind these pawns. So if I know the black king is going to be vulnerable, then I want to keep the queens on the board. And since black made another pawn move, like we talked about a second ago, development, white development, development, I don't have to take this pawn. I can develop another piece because capture, capture, capture. And what would be terrible about that for black is black has invested 1, 2 moves into their knight, and for white it is just 1. So black would not only be losing the trading material, but the time invested into that piece. So white is just going to develop, and now here black has 2 pieces developed and white has 4. This has the idea of kingside castling, maybe. It also has attack on d4. Pretty strong. White can create some counterplay. If I play here, bishop captures, knight captures. Oh, okay, so pawn captures, knight captures, bishop captures. Then what do I have? If that happens, I can kick that knight. There's a bishop check there. But I don't think the queen really has any ideas. But if this knight moves, white has queen captures g6 check. And after the king moves here, there's some difficulties. Maybe king f8. It's some attacking possibilities. Queen b6. Okay. Okay. Unpinning the e-pawn, e7 pawn with attack. 2 attacks and defense. Really great move for black. Going to queenside. I think there's some more attacks coming on here, but I think white can handle it. I think I have, if I need to, I have moves like knight d5, chasing the queen. Oh, I probably should have played that just now. No, because of the take on b2. What I have to watch, what white has to watch out for now here is this attack. So if there's an exchange, you know, there's attacks coming. There are attacks coming from black. The pieces are coordinated and working well. The thing is development. Black needs to get pieces developed, and f5 is weirdly the same best square as for the bishop. I think before the knight got to f5, the bishop should have developed to g4. Maybe. I don't know. It's c6. Let's see what happens here. I think I can play knight d5, threatening the queen. captures d4. That hangs the queen. There's some other stuff that can happen. I think black is looking at these exchanges, but the queen is hanging. That's unfortunate. Those pieces were really working together well. Now we've got moves like knight pen. Let's get this rook over here first. Rook is threatening this area, but we have a bishop covering that long file. E5, good move. Ooh, that's a really good move. We'll play a little bit aggressively here. Pawn can't advance without being just taken. So what we'll do is push this knight. Oh, that's a really nice in-between move. I like that a lot. We have a little bit of a tactic here. We can play bishop f7 check. And then if takes, check again with capturing the knight. Should we do that? We also have bishop check here. But the real threat is over here. Let's do that first tactic we saw. We have dark squared bishop coming in. So the king only has d7. The king has d7, f8, or captures. If d7, queen check. Okay, he's f8. I don't know what I was going to do if f8. I think if f8, queen b5 is threatening mate. So he would have had to move this bishop for that rook to cover. Testing, mic, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Little mic adjustment there. Oh, nice move. I wonder if I have enough for an attack. I have queen check, king move, or here. If king g8, let's go for the attack instead. We're low on time here. White is low on time. Look at moves like knight check. It is not obvious how to get out of this. Black has a lot of pieces around their king. 3 pieces. That was the right move. King f8. If the knight had blocked it, queen just captures. Now white is threatening check, but not mate. I don't think white is threatening mate. But I have to move fast because I only have a couple seconds per move. White is thinking about ideas like d6 check, but after king g8, queen capture. Oh, I didn't realize that bishop's hanging for the pawn. Check. Check. After the king comes here, check, comes back. Then bishop f6. After that move, we'll need to get a rook involved. Interesting. Do the check. Now the variation here, we'll have to use the pawn early. Maybe before capture here. We'll need to get the knights and rooks involved soon. Only have 37 seconds left. This is allowing knight captures check. It is also allowing. King has to go here. Knight captures. Bringing the knights and rooks into the game. Bishop pin. Knight comes in. Or rook comes in. My bad. King moves up. I don't really have a move here. We can't rook check. Queen captures. Checkmate. Oh. Had a small delay there. I thought it wasn't checkmate for a second. What the heck? Let's look at that game. That was an interesting game. Once again, f5 coming out soon. It just puts black down a little bit of material. You played really well there, Krish. There was some great plays here. f5 is a good spot for the knight. I just feel that at the beginning, if you want to use as few moves as possible at first, maybe like getting the bishop out and maybe knight f6, because the knight is great on f6 after one move. I think if you know you're going to have to use 2 moves to get a piece to a good square, you should save that piece for last. So maybe knight c6 first. You know, that helps here. You also have like an advantage of this g pawn being out is you have bishop g7. That's a great development right away. But knight h3 doesn't do a lot on this side of the world. Not doing a lot. You want to get the most action out of your piece for one move. This bishop diagonal, huge threat. This pawn moves, that's weak, you know. Yeah, let's play another game. That was good, man. But you really held out, man. You made your pieces work together in very strong ways, which was fantastic. I like seeing that. Contesting the center. Nice knight development. Bishop c4. I like bishop c5. I'll play knight c6 first. d6 is good. Defends the pawn, but so does knight c6. This bishop's already moved, so using another move to pin it would, I mean, waste the bishop's turn. Moving a piece 3 or 4 times, the same piece in a row, it's just, it loses games, man. Okay, now we're looking for moves like bishop e3, knight f3, castling, maybe queen d2. Okay, preventing the pin. I feel like this move is a little early. Like if it was knight f3, d6, then black would be threatening the pin. But at the moment, black isn't threatening that. So I feel like that's played a little early. Did the move order matter? Maybe, maybe not. Could I have played d4 here, d5 here? Capture, capture, capture. No, I couldn't have. If black captures here, white gets a bishop on f4, and black would be helping with development. That's not good. That's not good. If I let white capture, it looks okay. If f5, that can get a little bit hairy. But there's no knight on f3 yet, so having that isolated e pawn, it's not isolated. I still have f6, my f pawn, but having that pawn and it's by itself in the center, I'm not that worried about it. White isn't close to castling yet. When I see pawns like this, pawns go to c4 or f4 to help develop the bishops, I almost never take those pawns. I don't like to help my opponent develop. White has some interesting options. Knight f3 is a natural developing move. White has the option of capturing this bishop. I'm perfectly okay with having a double f pawn or double e pawn. Knight e2, defending f4. Once again, I'm not really motivated to capture on there. But I do want to kingside castle. moves like f5, I can just move my bishop out. Oof. Getting a little tired. It is 2:30 in the morning here in the United States. Okay. Now, f5, kind of a strong move. It's a very forceful move. Black almost has to take on this bishop, or white squared bishop is going to be very strong along this diagonal. Retreat. And black's bishop will be very passive here. Not doing much. Shooting at this dead end pawn chain. This pawn chain is going to be strong. So white's influence in the center, black's influence in the center. If I'm going to have a worse bishop than white, if I move it, then I should exchange. And those are kind of like the ideas that are useful when you're about to exchange. Is, do I gain benefit? Is it useful? There are almost some discoverable attacks here. Now, white has ideas like bishop g5, which is a little annoying. It's not easy to deal with for black. The knight capture there is good. I'm not sure whether to use bishop captures or pawn capture. By pawn capture, then this rook can come out and do some real threats to e4. I'm not confident in those threats, because if I capture here, bishop g5, rook e8, and suddenly this pawn is defended by this knight, attack my mine, but my knight is pinned. And since this is a light squared pawn, my dark squared pawn can't really do, my dark squared bishop won't be able to do anything. Plus its scope will be much smaller. So I will capture with the bishop. Well, I had that wrong. If I had captured the pawn, bishop g5 wouldn't have been the first move. It would have been kicking this knight. Yeah, if I had captured the pawn, then a move like knight e2, I can just capture this pawn. What just happened? Okay, knight move. I thought a piece was captured. This pin is going to be, if I was white, I would have played the bishop move, because this is moving the same piece again. Or worried about triple pawns. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being an issue, yeah. Now this is interesting because after this knight exchange, I have this check with this bishop here to might be a mating threat if this bishop is covering this square. Let's see what happens. King e2 probably. If king f1, let's look at this. If I capture here, king e2, queen f2 check. This is not checkmate. It is not checkmate. Now what about here? Why is that not checkmate? Check bishop. So check. And then king over. It's because I can't play queen d3. So instead I should play queen captures e4. Now if queen e2, black captures the rook with another check. Now black is up substantial material. I am much more comfortable trading now with a material advantage. This bishop is actually pinned now. So we can legitimately... Oh no! I was thinking if I take the bishop moves and I can take that rook behind it, but now when the bishop takes, it is actually defending the rook. I just sacked that bishop. That wasn't a very good move. Now I'm only up in exchange a piece for a rook, but I also have 3 pawns on top of that. So that's still a significant winning advantage. All black has to do right now is trade off material to win. So let's do that. Let's advance these pawns, create some pressure, activate these rooks. White seems to want to double these pawns. I think that's actually okay if I don't advance this pawn at all. That diagonal is not very useful, and white will run out of checks here. If a move like queen f5, my queen backs up. Exchange of queens is a-okay. But some compensation that black gets is moves like rook g8, an open file. Black did not have any pawns taken, or still doesn't, so open files are rare. We have the GE file. So the 2-rook advantage is finally going to become realized here. Threatening f7, but the queen is defending it, so we will just capture. And the king is surprisingly pretty safe without a rook coming over and the bishop's scope blocked. Black is actually doing okay with rooks coming over for attack on the king. Oh, it opens up a square for retreat for the king so that the rook can develop. Let's see how that plays. I kind of like that move. What happens if we check again? Where was that rook before? It was here. So notice now the king will have to go back again, but this time the rook is on the second rank. And now we have this check with mates to follow. With checkmate. All right, man. It's getting a little late here, but Krish, if you want to play one more game, I'm down. If you want to play like one of those 5-minute games, I'd be okay with that. If not, I might play a random or call it a night. But if you'd like to play one more, man, I am blundering a lot. Same here, man. I blundered that bishop for nothing. F4. That F4 move was actually very useful. That was an interesting move, Krish. I like that. Where was the blunder here? Oh, letting the knight come out. Yeah, it's, man, a lot of those blunders. Let's see. Natural developing move would be good, but I think you castled more. I think very, very, very often in the games I don't see you castling a lot. If you make king safety a priority and just for right now, man, I would just not move that f pawn. It's such a important defending piece for the king usually. Like there are openings that you do move it, but I would learn to play without moving it first. If you notice when I'm playing, I rarely like you've watched me play for a couple days. I rarely am moving that f pawn. It doesn't happen often. D6. Okay, I think this is something. I think this is called the perk defense. Do I develop a bishop first? I think in the perk I forget how to play against the perk defense. Yeah, that's a good move. Pinning the knight. Had I not played this, captures, queen captures. That d-pawn would be hanging. Capture, capture, capture. Threatening this pawn. Capture. Is it okay? Does it work? If I capture, capture, queen captures. Okay. Well, that just loses material. Loses material, but black got to develop a little bit. Sometimes people sack pawns to develop pieces, man. That's like the idea of a lot of gambits. Oh, I was gonna play some gambits today. I forgot about that. There's some discovered checks. When I start to see the discovered checks and stuff, castle. Because I'm going to forget later if I don't castle right away. All right. This will be my last game of the night. Thanks for being here, Krish, man. It means a lot to have some viewers on my first few days. I appreciate that you've been here every day so far. It means a lot to me, man. A little worried here. Moves like knight c3, bishop captures. Okay, knight f6. Natural move. I'm set up here. I can play knight c3 now with the knight in front of here. I was worried about bishop captures and having this doubled isolated pawns on an open c file. Man, black needs to castle. I can push this pawn with some discoveries. Oh! Did not see that coming. Now if I move this pawn, takes, threatens the queen with discovery. Wow. Did not see that coming. And black has moves like knight e5 coming. Let's play bishop g5, has that pin. It's easy to get out of though. What do you want? Bishop f4. Attacking into the king side. I feel like a knight is going to move up to e5, threatening this pawn. So it's good to have this bishop here for attack. If knight e5 and I capture, pawn captures with discovery again. Okay, that's the move we're looking for. If capture, capture. I have to move my queen, maybe a4, pawn move, rook move, and c stacked against mine. So I would capture, rook captures, rook, queen move, rook captures, another queen capture. And suddenly his queen is on this diagonal. It looks rough. The whole time I said my queen was at knight 4. Maybe his rooks would have been stacked on d6 instead. But I don't want this pawn stacked. He's also threatening c3. It's a rough game. Oh, I sacked that pawn. No, that's not sacking. I can play rook c1. That's right. If knight captures, I just capture with my queen. If knight captures, rook pins the knight against the king, and then b3 is the next move. No matter what. Or capturing the knight. Ooh, getting sleepy. This is a pretty intense game, Krish. This is this is some good chess playing. Black and white have a lot of really interesting dynamic play going on right now. There's some interesting ideas going on here. One thing black will need to do, this pawn advance is coming and this file is going to be open. Black will want to move to b8 soon. I'll put down this bishop diagonal. I think the squares are pretty strong. Okay, now we have options. Pawn takes puts the queen on a rook file, but this puts the king on the open file end. We want that. The objective is to win the king, not the queen, so that's what we're going for. Plus this e pawn is actually a defender against like f pawns coming up. You know, black can kind of steamroll that. c4. That's a blunder. With this rook pin, no matter what, if queen moves here, b3. If knight b3, threatening the queen, the rook captures with check. King has to respond, and then I can get the queen out. Even though it looks like it saves material, it does not quite do the trick. Yep, king b8 is the move. Yep, had to come eventually. Usually if I find myself queenside castling, I find that I save a tempo with the rook being on the d file. It's a good place for rooks. You have your kingside castle, rook on f8, not very useful. You usually have to move it to like e1 or sorry, e8 or d8. b5, pretty strong move. Now do I move back to g3, maintaining pressure on the d6 square, or do I put new pressure on a7? Let's go for new pressure. Now that opens up bishop e5 for the black bishop. Black has their own set of attack here. Okay. This actually hangs a piece. I can play bishop d4 and the queen will have to move and the bishop will win that piece. But I wonder if queen a4 threatening mate is a good in-between move. Let's do that. Then I have to remove like a6. Then we'll move the bishop. Rook. This bishop starting over here. This will be checkmate. All right, Krish, that was an amazing game, man. Really well played throughout. Let's look at this. c5 was good. Good way to challenge the sender. Pawn sacrifice. This bishop is not you made my white bishop not very useful. Good development. I wonder, queenside castling might have been a little less than accurate. If queenside castle, I would have liked to have seen some more pawns moving forward to attack. But it's very safe for the king over here. You've got 2 or 3 pieces around it, 3 pawns. That would have been a very safe spot. And over here, the king isn't even behind pawns. You know, you almost have to castle and then move. And that second king move never really happened. And now, right here, seeing the king on an open file, the very next move should be king b8. Because rook c1 is coming. There it is. And that's a pin. b5 was g5 I liked. Yeah. Excellent games, man. Wow. I mean, that was a lot of fun. Probably getting off soon. For anyone watching, I accept open chess challenges. You can find me at checkmate 4283. I'm calling it a night for right now, but if you can hit follow on the Twitch thing, this is my 3rd day streaming. Each follow really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much. I'll call it a night for right now. Thank you guys so much, and I'll be on tomorrow night. Good game. Hey, you're back, Fazlanala. Good to have you back, man. I'll be on tomorrow. If you want to play some more then, I have you friended. I'll be on around the same time. But hit that follow button, man. I appreciate it. Take it easy, guys, and have a good night. Bye.